present chairman of Town Council and the previous chairman of Town Council, which also alluded to me in my role as previous town chairman also. I am really struggling to understand how people who abuse me so soundly, so roundly, in all sorts of ways, can now sit there or stand there as if butter would not melt in their mouths and talk about the abuse they are suffering from. They also talk about it affecting their families and their friends. Well, all I can say is, welcome to the world that I inhabited. Because, believe me, what you're experiencing is nothing to what I experienced. And even now, if I make any comment on any of the Portishead Facebook pages, I get abuse. Doesn't matter if it's a fact that is provable, and I refer the person to the relevant minutes with the dates of a Portishead Town Council meeting, I still get abuse. And the final straw this evening was when one of you said about seeking legal redress. Seeking legal redress, as Mr. Clark has mentioned, he would do. Unfortunately, it is beyond the means of most people. It is certainly beyond my means. Because, again, it was mentioned, it's very interesting, I sought legal redress. There were only 2 people who knew I had done that at that point. Myself and my husband. Nobody else. And yet, it was brought into the public domain in a town council meeting. If anybody doubts what I'm saying, please look at old films, recordings of these meetings. It was brought up at one of those meetings. Coincidentally, I had taken my laptop to Nortec Computers on the High Street because it needed some work doing. I will say no more about that. But abuse, I disagree with it. I abhor abuse in all its forms. I totally support freedom of speech. I will defend anybody's right to say what they believe in. And again, at a town council meeting, I have had to suffer a fellow councillor saying things that were abhorrent to me, that I completely disagreed with. But that person had the right, in my view, to say what that person believed in, as does anybody else. I don't believe I have ever abused anybody. I don't tell lies, because as Shakespeare said, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when first we practice to deceive." I don't have the time for that. I can't be doing that. So I tell the truth. That puts some people's backs up. But behaviour, come back to behaviour. As has already been said by someone else this evening, it's a two-way street. There are those of you in this room who have abused other people. You cannot sit there and say, don't abuse others. Please, do as you would be done by. Treat people fairly, courteously, and honestly. And as the chairman here this evening has mentioned, but he didn't give their name, there are the Nolan principles. Honesty, openness, transparency, and there don't want to take up too much of your time, and don't worry, when I've finished I am leaving, and then you can feel free to abuse me as you wish. But I just couldn't sit and hear this, and there's been so much of it that has been going on at council meetings that I have attended in the past couple of years. I just cannot believe it. It's very sad, and this town surely deserves better. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much.